Graduate of the United States Naval Academy, where he has served as admissions officer, Spanish instructor, and submarine warfare instructor. After multiple operational assignments, Captain Tortora returned to the Academy in 2012, where he now serves as the director of the Center of Cybersecurity Studies. Sir?
Well, thanks again to the Army Cyber Institute for hosting this, and Palo Altos for putting this together. I think this is a great opportunity. We've been meeting working group-wise, the Service Academies, NSA, College of Cyber, and AFIT, our Air Force Institute of Technology, and Naval Postgraduate School, on more of the contents of curriculum. So this is the first time we've had this level of dialogue with industry and a broader group, so this is fantastic. Since the Army's taken most of my time, I guess they've beaten Navy once this year. I thought I'd go with the next slide, just if I could. You can't see it. If you get next slide, or so the Navy won the cyber defense exercise this year, and I thought I'd also bring that up since I don't have much time. There's two. Yeah. So I'll just take it while I can. But there's 2 points about this this picture I actually want to bring up. One is that the Naval Academy won. It's been 5 years since we last won it. These guys and gals, just like at all the service academies, really put a lot of time in this field. They don't get a lot of recognition, which is the second point I wanted to bring it. I hope whoever wins next year can do this again. So we happen to have proximity on our side this year. I got a call Wednesday of last week, said, can you bring your cyber team to the White House tomorrow? We're giving the Air Force Academy their Commander-in-Chief's trophy for football. And I said, of course I can. It was finals week. Midshipmen had already started going on leave. And so I was calling midshipmen back from leave. I said, your only chance to meet the president, probably. Midshipmen had one instructor change a final. So I ended up getting about 13 of them, along with the superintendent. And we POV'd it there. And we actually got to meet the president. I gave him a don't give up the ship flag, very traditional Navy, the Commodore Perry flag. And we actually ate into the Commander-in-Chief's trophy presentation, so the Air Force Academy, I think there's a couple reps in here, we're not happy that the Chief of Staff of the Air Force and the other 300 guests were waiting for the 13 midshipmen and 2 officers for taking up their time. So it was actually pretty good. So I would love that whoever wins it next year, we can make this, and Dan Ragsdale, the father of this trophy, or the mother of this trophy. I think you said only could be so many fathers, but only one mother. I don't think so. But if we could, I think if we could. You said it, Colonel. I didn't say that. But if we can continue this, these guys and gals of all the service academies, and I think we're going to get the senior military schools, I think is what we said for next year, and some of the events. Maybe we get these guys and gals are taking the fight into the next generation, right? They're learning it. They've lived this their whole life. These are the guys and gals who need to be recognized, and they don't get enough of that. It's a lot of hard work if you don't know what the CDX is. It's not just a week of getting attacked by NSA, but it's a lot of preparatory and other capture the flag exercises, the cyber stakes, which Dan also helped. But there's a lot of things that these guys and gals do which don't get enough recognition. So the fact that I was able to sneak these guys in last week, great for these guys, but hopefully it's great for next year's winner. I would like it to be us, but even if it's not us, I will do my best to see if we can continue this tradition. I think it's great. Admiral Rogers is not here, but he had a hand in that as well, so we'll push him. Whoever wins next year, we need to make sure this happens again. This recognition is important, it's crucial, and these guys will take what they've learned here into the field. I won't say the same thing about the football players too much, but anyway, I thought I'd bring that up. Not a stab at anybody, but I thought a good point of that recognition I think is key. We don't get enough of that in this field. Next slide. I don't think I'll get too much time to talk about it, but our approach at the Naval Academy is all many few. Every one of our graduates has to expect to go onto a ship, a Marine or Navy, so complex systems. SCADA as a float is what I sometimes like to call it. So they need to understand everything that goes with cyber attacks, cyber defense, how they're communicating. So we've actually taken them all many few. Everyone's getting cyber education at the freshman year, plebe course, everyone, 100%, and then we get them again as juniors. And the plebe course goes everything from learning how a computer is, zeros and ones, to actually doing a mini CDX and feeling the taste of that at that level, and that's where we find those nuggets that we want to pursue into the field. And then again, as a junior, they'll get more of a what the Navy calls electromagnetic warfare, maneuver warfare, EMW. I think this Admiral Greener's calling it. We actually talk about how we use the EW spectrum to operate. Bit more of a comms type of course, but we actually get them again, and everyone's getting that 100%. So that's a little bit how we're different than the other service academies. We have also created at the top of that pyramid a cyber operations major, which is an interdisciplinary major. It actually goes from, we have courses that are taught by the computer science course department, some that are taught by the computer engineering department, some that are taught by the political science department. We have a law class, a social engineering class, courses in systems engineering. So we've actually taken a larger view of how we view cyber in the Navy. That is, it's a bit more, very interdisciplinary with a cyber physical, cyber computing, and a little bit of a human factors in it. So we haven't graduated a group yet. They're going to graduate next year. We built the major so that would fit in the general computing ABET accreditation field with a number of courses. But we're working with ABET to see if it can actually find some true home in it as a true academic field. So the all-men-a-few approach, and the few really is less than 100 of the 4,400 of them. That's where we also include our CDX guys and gals, just a small group. The Navy doesn't, we don't have a cyber field yet. We use the information warfare as and the information professional fields as our primary method, but this is the first year. Next week when they graduate, the first time 4 midshipmen can go straight into the information warfare field, fully physically qualified. So this is the first time the Navy's allowed that. 2 will go into an information professional, also the first time that the Navy's allowed that. So we haven't made the same strides yet that West Point and the Army has with cyber as a true field. But we're doing our best to try to mold the midshipmen of all into understanding when they hit the fleet as aviators, submariners, surface warfare officers, marine officers. They understand the impact of cyber and how they communicate, their network, their information, their location. The Naval Academy is, I think there's some Coast Guard. We stopped teaching celestial navigation a couple of years ago. We're going back to teaching celestial navigation in the fall. Those of you who understand some of our adversaries' potential, actually Admiral Rogers mentioned it this morning when he was a junior officer learning about operating in a denied environment. So if you don't have GPS in the Western Pacific, you might need to use celestial navigation again. So we're actually reconstituting celestial navigation, which if you've never done it, is not a lot of fun. If the sun's up, you kind of know where you are. If the sun's not up, you're looking for stars and clouds and points of reference. So we're actually putting back celestial navigation due to cyber issues and operating in a GPS-denied environment. So it's actually coming back down to the all in that level as well. So I know I kind of breezed through a lot, and I don't want to take into lunch or at the 4 stars discussion at lunch because I'll hear about that. So I'll be around most of the day. I did bring one of our professors, Dane Brown, on my staff as well. Unlike the Army Cyber Institute, that constitutes 20% of the Naval Academy's cyber staff. We do have, next slide if you want. We do have a building, just not people to put into it. I think General Hernandez has mentioned that to me. I've got the building, he's got the people. So anyway, we did manage to get that. So I'll give you some pointers on how to get a $120 million building placed on landfill in the Severn River. That's coming, start construction next year, and we'll have a skiff and a lot of great opportunity for SCADA labs, interdisciplinary components, even a wave tank that we'll be able to test out UUVs and then put it right into the Severn River and test out the equipment, swarm techniques, a lot of great things coming with that. So blaze through it all, but I'll be here the rest of the day. I'd be happy to talk to anybody and continue the dialogue. Hopefully I met your mark there. Thanks for the 8.5 minutes.